Hi, middle school families. It's Miss Hassler, school counselor at Lincoln. Today we're going to talk about managing emotions, specifically stress and anxiety. Over the past few weeks, your children were working in their advisories on what is in their circle of control, things that they can change, and what's not in their circle of control, things that they can't have control over, like how other people respond to them, what are their synchronous hours of learning, and how much they can go out during the quarantine. Either of those, in their control or out of their control, can cause stress and anxiety. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can manage that. There are two big areas of managing stress and anxiety. One is being proactive, and the other is being reactive. Let's talk about proactive for just a moment because we've talked about some of these skills before, and we talked about how to be a great student. And these skills also help you manage your stress. So making sure you're getting good sleep, nutrition, lots of water, and exercise, and social connection help to keep your stress levels low and your body better respond to stress and anxiety when it does happen. So those are really important to keep in mind and keep doing them, even though it's a little different during this quarantine and this situation, trying to find ways that you exercise and stay socially connected. It is really important. So I suggest as a family that you even go a step farther and set up different ways for them to interact with other people outside of your household. So one of those examples could be maybe every weekend you set a certain time that you are connecting with other members of your family who are not in your household, like grandparents or aunts or uncles or cousins, and the whole family gets together to talk. That's one way. And another way is creating those times where you're interacting and people are not on technology, because we know that it also helps your brain to take a break. Let's talk more about how to be reactive in those moments where you're truly experiencing stress or anxiety. Before we get into that, I want you to know as a family that it is normal to have stress and anxiety. It's okay, and it's healthy. So every time you have stress and anxiety, it doesn't mean that you need to fix it. A little bit of stress is okay. Sometimes it helps us to get our work done. And a little bit of anxiety is okay as well. It helps us to keep our focus. But when you're experiencing anxiety or stress for longer periods of time, when you know it probably should have been released already, then we want to take that time to be able to control it. Now, if it's something we can change, then you want to take those steps to set some new goals and set some new habits. If you're stressed or anxious about something you cannot control, then of course you want to be able to just do those different methods to help you calm and relax and release those feelings. So what are some of those methods? Well, one of the ways you can do that is just by breathing or different stretching exercises. This involves a lot of mindfulness, which just means that you being mindful is just knowing what's going on with your body. And when you know what's going on with your body, then you can respond to it. So if your heart rate's fast, your breathing is up, then you can control that with deeper, slower breaths. If a certain part of your body is feeling that stress or anxiety, then you can release that by doing different stretching exercises. There are also lots of apps to help you if your mind is just feeling too overwhelmed or cluttered. And if you just do a simple search on your app store, you'll find lots of those apps. I keep some of them on my phone. I don't think one is better than the other. Some are free, some are at cost. You as a family can experience which ones you like better. Those are some of the ones that I have on my phone. Besides being mindful, you can also do different things in your household, like use art, painting, drawing, sketching. Writing can also be a really good way to let go of emotions. Reading can be a good way of changing that channel in your brain and taking it to do something else. If you can't deal with changing what's going on, then you can just move on and do something different, like reading or watching a TV show or playing a game. There are also different techniques you can do in that moment to help you change your brain, and we call those grounding techniques. And you may have heard people use them in different ways by using their senses to focus in on their surroundings and change their brain from not thinking about what's stressing them. And those are things like naming a few things that you can see, naming a few things you can hear, or smell, or taste, or touch. Again, those little techniques help to just change your brain and deal with those emotions. A lot of times, some of these stressful emotions come about making mistakes. And just like having stress or anxiety, remember, making mistakes is a normal part of growing and developing. Even as adults, we make mistakes too. So viewing mistakes as something normal helps you to also deal with stress and anxiety. So I've talked about some techniques you can do, but as a family, an important thing of not just telling your children what they can do is also role modeling them as an adult. So you can tell your child all you want about what to do, but if you're not showing it as an adult, they're going to be less likely to do the things that you're saying. So make sure that you as parents are being a good role model of how to deal with stress and anxiety. And think, am I using some of those techniques and getting my anxiety and my stress levels under check? Your child notices that, and they will also do what you are doing, more so than what you're telling them. So make sure you're doing your self-care, you have your different techniques that help you release and lower your stress, and that you're demonstrating a positive growth mindset. And we'll talk about that another time. But for now, try out some different stress relief techniques in your family, and good luck keeping those levels low and connecting.